Good morning or afternoon, wherever you are. I'm just catching up still from this whole year. I'm really fortunate to have some time where everything's organized. I don't have like obligations outside of myself right now. I've got 2 weeks to do it. It's like a vacation. Um, I do have a friend thing that I'm going to catch up on tomorrow, so that'll be fun. Some friends are coming in from out of town, and I haven't seen them for a while, so I need to give them some robots and catch up with them on life, and then maybe play some taiko drums, which would be really cool. Um, the males have had a chance to spend the night with the females last night. So Petrie and Mickey had a sleepover with um, the latest that I put in there. Evian is one of them. I think Daffodil might be the other one. I'm not sure. Daphne, maybe. I can check her name actually. Hold on. Ha! That was wrong. Slinky. Yeah. Memory like a take notes person. But there was a little bit of a situation with a roach. Not that big of a deal, really not that big of a deal, but I've been trying to take out the water bowls this year while I'm feeding and then going back the next day and just putting the water bowls in so I can make sure there's consistency and hydration. And Hilaria had a roach in her water bowl. And I've found that if I go back in within like 24 hours, sometimes the roaches are wise enough to do like a back float thing for like long enough so that I can go in and save them actually. And that wasn't always the case, but this one was facing down and I was hoping it was okay, but it wasn't. So it's like 50 cents to $1 loss if I was to price these guys out right now. I might have some people that I can buy some roaches off for uh, favorable prices, but I feel like because of the way the pricing is these days, I would be kind of obligated to do something in return, like exchange a roach to them or something along those lines. So I'm just trying to make sure I can like maintain myself, and if I can have extra things, I'll certainly provide them to other people. Like for me, one of the things I'm doing right now are houseplants. And so I have like a series of cuttings that I have in containers that are not, that hopefully I can like maybe put them in a cup and keep these containers for myself so I can keep propagating the plants in there. That's just like one of the new forms of life that I'm working with that are less consequential than any kind of animal, even though I think like spiders are a step down from breeding puppies. I still feel like the moral obligation is just to make sure that like life is being cared for in all of its abilities. Anyway, that's why Hilarious Tank is, her lid is off right now. Can you even see that? You can't. Okay, so I have a spider lid without a tank on over here. Tank lid on. And I have extra lids everywhere now, but I'm trying to see where I put her lid. I'm just gonna grab like extra lids until I find it, because I'm sure I will. Oh, here it is. Okay. And I recently found out my caseload of kiddos is going to be 3rd and 5th grade, which is honestly, I don't want to get like excited about it, but like for some reason, I love those grades. That was 2 really good years for me, and so like I associate like teaching that way. Like 3rd grade was like the year that I got discovered as having a gifted and talented high IQ essentially, and so that teacher, she retired halfway through the year, medical retirement, and we had a permanent sub for the rest of the year after we lost her. But I loved her so much that I wrote a story about her. My 2nd grade teacher was super hard on me. At one point, she actually made me stand in front of I remember like giggling maybe in the bathroom, but somebody had reported to her at the PE time that I was screaming in the bathroom. And it wasn't just me. I'm pretty sure it was somebody else too, but she targeted me and made me scream in front of the entire student population under a tree, like 3 or 4 times as loud as I could, like scream at the top of my voice. And she wasn't satisfied until I did that. And of course, every time that I did that, they all laughed at me. It's a wonder why I was like bullied. But I wasn't bullied by that student population as much as when I went to the next school for some reason, because I was like the new kid and my grandma just died, and so we moved into this house. Um, that teacher ended up being like fired like the next year because of what she did to another student. So my third grade teacher was obviously a relief from the second grade teacher, and the fact that she found out that I had a high IQ was really cool too. So there was at one point that I wrote a story for her. It was called her name was Mrs. McWilliams and the Butterfly. And it was about a little caterpillar that turned into a butterfly. And my fourth grade teacher was magical too. But for some reason, like teaching third and fifth grade is just, I'm so excited about it. These kids are going to be really brilliant. They're going to be cognizant. They're going to be like ready for the next step. They're not going to be babies anymore, even though like second graders are like the big kids and first graders are like no longer, like the little babies. They're still kind of like, they have that like mommy quality to them and stuff, but like they're getting like more socially independent. I'm just thrilled. Like middle school, I was getting excited about it because high school was such a burden, and I'm gonna miss some of those kids in my heart. I know that they're gonna freak out when the school year starts and I'm not there, because I up until the last minute was gonna be at that school. Anyway, Larry needs water. And then I'm going to check all these guys to see if there is one roach here and one roach here for Flora and Ink. But for whatever reason, in 2 days, they haven't excitedly gone after their food. Maybe I'll start taking records of when they actually eat too, so I can see if there's maybe a feeding issue with any of them. It's usually pretty easy to tell if they're not doing well by seeing if they're have skinny abdomens, essentially. And not every tarantula is going to eat every single time the food is offered for multiple reasons. Like I don't have the same peat moss in all of these tanks. The age of the peat moss isn't the same. The amount of isopods or springtails isn't going to be the same in every single one of these tanks. And these tanks have been made in different years. So there's different designs of them too. One year was the first year I was starting to do the designs with these. I was using a wood, one of those wood burning kits to make the holes. And then I started getting into drilling, and there's disadvantages to both of them being sharp areas. And I'm always concerned that like there may be a huge design flaw within that, because I've been doing these all by hand. The drilling one is where I use like drill bits, and then I also use like the holes, the tools that like make holes were like kind of like sandpaper, but not enough, so that I could feel like there's some like sharp bits in there. But and they've had egg sacs in them. I think it was easier for them to get into the front and the back that way. I need to use the squirt gun on the kitten right now. Activate spray mode. Forest. No, kitten. Kitten. Hey. No, that was it. That was a 1, 2, 3. That's it. That's it. My goodness. Usually 1, 2, 3 is like I'm going to pick you up. Oh, don't you say that. Oh, Jasmine, it's okay, love. Sorry, that was Jasmine. Forrest is a very third grade like kitten. He's very independent. He does what he wants to do. I haven't taken care of a spider yet. I mean, basically they're good. Okay, let me get 2 tasks I need to do. 3 tasks. 4 tasks I need to do today. One is I need to do my homework assignment. I've got a project that I need to do, and I'm intimidated by it. I don't want to do it, and I don't want to do it not perfectly. And so I'm just deciding to not do it at all. And that's not great. I know that I have the ability to like push in like 5 hours and just focus and do the research as if like this was like some kind of like do or die kind of project. I don't want to put that much energy into it. And I'm babying myself. So that's why this is happening. Like I'm like acting like I am my own millennial parent and just like, okay, just don't do it if you don't want to. But At the same time, I'm also saying to myself, but if you do want to do it, just be nice on yourself, forgive yourself if you don't do it perfectly, and just get it done. This is going to be a fun year in teaching. I do hope to make some progress with these guys. I know it's not going to be perfect, and I know next year I'll find better ways to make it more efficient for themselves and for me as well as I go through my own journey of like getting through my diagnosis of ADHD and finding how to get back to like focusing on the fact that I have high IQ. Like sincerely, like when I had the high IQ thing going, I was like, I can do math. I was like competing in physics, even though I didn't want to. I didn't want to be an engineer like my dad. And my dad's such a great engineer, and I wish that he's still an engineer like to this day, and he's brilliant, and he's got such a history. He brags about himself all the time, and it's so legitimate. It's like really legitimate what he brags about, but it's so cute, like how he's very proud of himself for all that he's done. And he had to do a lot of cue cards as a kid, like this is how you spell bat. These little old ladies like do those with him because his mom wanted to make sure that he got the right education. So she got teachers for him. And he had aunts that were like PhDs or like, you're not done with your education until you get your PhD. So I also like took on that mentality. And I just like, I still to this day feel like I haven't finished my education. Anyway, I'm just trying to get a certificate right now. And I just need to do one project. And like I froze because like it wasn't as easy as the quizzes, which I'm not cheating on. It's so easy with AI out there to cheat on these things, but they make you sign a little certificate saying I didn't cheat. And I'm like, I didn't cheat. My kids, man. I saw some kids doing some creative cheating this year too, and I'm just like, after a while, like if you keep catching them, they're just gonna keep getting smarter at it. So it's just like wait until there's like a blanket policy for them to all get caught. Otherwise, yeah, there was only so much I could do in summer school. Most of the time, I'd pass them on to somebody else and be like, "The kids are doing this," and just like send them back to me. Like, that's all you want for discipline. That's fine. My favorite one, though, I still to this day don't know if this kid cheated or not, but it was like he looked like he was like sleeping at the computer and like the work was getting done. Like, so yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm really gonna miss those kids. Um, the ones that misbehaved the most were just the ones that were trying to get my attention, and I saw them for that. And I tried to see like beyond that, like why are you trying to get my attention? And I would even get like stories like, well, at home it's just not that great. I had no freedom at home to be myself, and sometimes that's a story in itself too. But it gave me some points of empathy for sure. Oh, I got some non-eaters, and that's okay. They do not need to eat right now. Do want to make sure I'm not overhydrating the soil. Looks like some of the soil is getting kind of mushy. But I know in the back, I usually have like a desert back there. I do like to have it kind of balanced, but my my routines got so bad this year that I would like get everything perfect. I would have like the dry spot, the wet spot, moist, damp. And this is wet, I would say. I mean, I can see water is like in the bottom here, but it's great for the isopods. Sorry, I'm looking at my rabbit. He's got itchy ears. And the vet said there was nothing in their ears when I took them there. And then like said maybe mission accomplished for ear mites, but they might actually have like yeast in their ears. And I haven't looked up how contagious yeast in ears is. But it started with one cat, then another cat got dirty ears, and then my rabbits, like I thought I saw bites in the ears, and so I've been treating them. And then it looks like I over treated them with like olive oil and try to be like light on it, but they wouldn't stop itching. And so like I was like, okay, well we need more like topical ivermectin on that one spot in the neck that they can't lick. And then the little brats started. I didn't want to take them away from each other, even though like they keep saying, don't keep, they're very contagious. Don't put them next to each other. Don't let them be around like wood panels. And so I took away their polyester blankets and their cardboard boxes for hiding in. And but the little boogers, they like when I put olive oil in there, they would clean each other's ears out. Oh my god, rabbits, they have scorn. They are the most pessimistic creatures. But that's why, I mean, they're just like teenagers. They're so lovely for me. Anyway, I'm gonna miss my teenagers a lot. I'm gonna miss my high school students a lot. I know I'm gonna have some students that really miss me. Like I had like one kid that I pulled out in the hall at the very last minute, like literally last minute, like seconds on the clock. It was like, you need to go in there and finish your test, otherwise you're not gonna get anything for it. And you've been working on this for days with your perfect handwriting and stuff. And so they accomplished it, man, like a champ. I was so proud of them. Like they were like crying. And I know those feelings, and I never want anything but like positive self love coming out of like a moment like that. So it definitely was a intense, wonderful teaching moment for me. And I wanted to be like Michelle Pfeiffer in like Dangerous Minds, and that's as close as I'll ever get. There was definitely some scary like drills at that school, and we did have a couple major events that will hopefully not impact me too much as like a teacher. But I'm glad I'm out of that environment, even though I love that whole place. And like I even had dreams about like finishing off my school year there and then getting ready to go to my next school. But like I started the school year off with them, and it was hysterical. I had there was one teacher in my dream. It was kind of like a casual teacher, and they were like drinking a beer on campus. Like it was just like the thing, and it was like their personality. I was like, yeah, this is normal. That was just a dream though. So anyway, yeah, and there will be no beer drinking with the fifth graders and the third graders and all that good stuff. Um, yeah, this is definitely not a made for kids channel, but it's not going to be something that's like even over, I don't know, PG-13. Is that what we used to call it? I don't even know what they call these things with the ratings. You don't like this one. This is Ariel. Hey, buddy. What's up with you, girlfriend? You okay? You pre-molt? This doesn't look good. Her pattern's been weird. I think she recently molted, but she's not up on the side. Yeah. I'm not sure if Ariel's going to make it. I don't have anything I can do for her. Like, everything in her environment is perfect. I could take out her webbing. The cage is clean. There's no vermiculite in here. She just looks like there's some genetic deformities in her patterns. So that sucks. Especially because The Little Mermaid just came out. This was like, I named her years ago. Maybe I need to watch The Little Mermaid and like believe in fairies or something. I don't know what the heck's going on. Oh. We'll keep her over there. I'll just try to remember that I think about her. I have good thoughts for Ariel, guys. Sometimes they can come out of a funky mold and be okay. Like I had a P. ornata downstairs there that had a backwards leg. Now that's not one of mine, so I know it wasn't one of my, like, if it was something along the lines of like sibling breeding or something like that that caused it, it wasn't me. It wasn't one of these tanks, but usually these tanks are totally fine as far as the molds goes. A few percentages of them have things like backwards legs, and this one did have like came out of the mold and the leg was funky. And I was ready like 2 weeks ago, hey baby girl, to rip off this leg because some marshmallow. That gives him a chance to just start from scratch with that leg again. And lo and behold, like a couple of days after I decided I was going to do that, I went in to check on the spider and they had molted and the leg was fine, which was awesome. So yeah. Okay, so now this shelf has been cleaned off. I still have 30 seconds. One of the ornatas here looks like they put some substrate in their water bowl, so I'm just going to change out the water bowl real quick. I can do an organized thing tomorrow, but I just wanted to make sure I got a video in here. I accidentally published my video yesterday on my bass channel. Now, if you want to check out, if you think you want to be a serious bass player and you want to get some lessons, I'm starting to talk through my practice sessions. So what's going on is I'm going to start turning that into lessons. I'm going to start maybe doing like a serious bass group for like people who are interested in playing, but I am doing it from a different perspective. For like the last, I started when I was 19. I'm 43 now. Maybe I should do like a beauty page, right? Selfish plug. My sister has that face too. Oh my gosh, I'm doing my sister's face. You gotta chill. Come here, darling. Come here, kitten. Kitten, who's a bear. Anyway, I should probably do them right now, actually. So I do 12 major scales. I'm going to try that for 12 weeks. I've started to come up with like a routine along the way so that it's not just like playing, but I play in fifths. I've been playing in fifths for what I was trying to say, like 24 years. And the reason why is because of this article that I found in the International Bass Society publications back in 1999, quintessentially Quarrington. Maybe it was 1998 when I found the article, and then I changed over to fifths in 99. It may have been actually a little bit later, because in 99 I was in Tucson at the time, so it could just be 20 years that I did this. Got married. Yeah, it could be, actually it's more like 20 years, because I was married when I was 22, and the bass was a wedding present actually. And then that's when I had two basses. So I had one in fifths and one in fourths. And I started off with a hybrid recipe that they had. So it was like a B string that was tuned up to a C string, and an A string that was a solo to A string, because basses already had some weird tuning situations going on before then. But this was a guy out in Canada that was doing this, and I've since then gotten his digital publication on this. But really, I just like kind of comfortably slipped over to essentially an octacello. So it's like a cello that's like an octave lower. And it's totally different. It makes the music theory a lot easier to play on the instrument too. So 12 weeks, 12 major scales, and I'm giving myself lessons, I guess, through it. So I'm like coaching myself through it and refining how I want to do my practice sessions, because I've been a teacher for 24 years, in specifically this instrument. And I've been playing for over 30 years, 43 again, 32 years now. And played like Carnegie Hall with the youth orchestra that had rented the hall essentially. I mean, that's what you do when you play Carnegie Hall. You don't just like, you get in maybe with an audition, but it's not like they're like, oh wow, you're the most amazing player in the world. Like, yes, some of the most amazing players in the world do play in Carnegie Hall. I just happened to be in a youth orchestra that rented the hall, and we did like an all stars of like the top people in it. And I was like the fifth bass chair of like 6 chairs. So I mean, to me, it was just a lucky event. I think a lot of luck has happened in my life, and I look forward to more luck if that is something that's out there. But after you become an adult, you kind of make some of your own decisions. So anyway, if you want to follow me there, bass lessons starting. If you want to get real funky with me, there's like only less than 1,000 people on Facebook that claim to be either studying or playing in the bass and fifths. So it's a really unique niche. And I'll be working on myself on this. So that's essentially where I'm coming from. But through it, I'll be teaching some of the fundamentals that I teach students, or talking about it passively. But if you want to become a student of mine, like my students are much better reported than me, the serious ones anyway. So if you're interested in trying that out and see what you can do with your own dedication. I gotta go take the cat off of my rare plant shelf before she gets herself in more trouble. Talk to you later. Kitten!